Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video and welcome to a new champion breakdown. So kind of timing it with Riot, thanks for them providing me the info on the champion. So this will be launching the exact same time. The moment I can do it, I will. But this is the new champion, Ambessa. And if you've been watched season 1 of Arcane and obviously season 2 coming very soon, she is a Noxus general in season 1 and she is the mother of the kind of senator character that has a relationship with Jace. She's a very cool character, and she's coming to all forms of games when in the right umbrella. So she is coming to League of Legends, TFT, Legends of Runeterra, and Wild Rift, pretty much all at the same time. And obviously, it's a kind of a celebration of Arcane Season 2 is coming out. We're getting a character directly from that. I think it's cool. So what is she? She is a top laner. Fundamentally, she is a 1v1 duelist top laner. She does have a bit of AoE here and there, but that's kind of what she's mainly kind of akin to. Her off-role is jungle, and even occasional, and this is where, you know, from the devs in a little Q&A, she can also, you know, like Renekton is picked in mid lane in certain counter matchups. She probably is going to fit in that category as well. So maybe she'd be good into something like a Zed or a Yasuo in mid lane, and Ambessa may be good against them. But fundamentally, she's a top laner. It's worth knowing what you see on the screen is what we have. So that is a negative. Unfortunately, they didn't actually host a proper dev meeting this time. The reason for it is I think they're just a bit too busy. And they I believe, held an in-person one for American content creators. And obviously, as a European content creator, we don't get to go to those. But you're probably getting already a bit of a rough idea of what she does. Obviously, we'll break down what her each ability is. But if I had to give you like a little just synopsis, think that she's kind of like Darius and Riven combined. That's probably a good way to describe her. But she has little things here and there, like there's a bit of Cassante in her. There's a little bit of Warwick even in her. So she's kind of a Juggernaut mixed with, or Juggernaut Bruiser, but with more mechanical mobility gameplay. And obviously, modern League of Legends, mobility is king, so she will most likely blend very well into the modern game. So let's begin. Her passive is called Drakehound's Step. And just to make it very clear, her weapons that are like the kind of chain blades, they are called Drakehounds. So anytime that I say Drakehounds, that are the weapons that she is using. So, entering an attack or movement command while casting an ability will cause Ambessa to dash a short distance once the ability is cast. Casting an ability grants her next attack bonus range, damage, and attack speed, and refunds. Some people probably haven't even noticed it yet. Energy. So she is an enemy energy champion. Off the top of my head, I can't even remember what the last energy champion was, but it has definitely been many years. Obviously, Riot have favoured either mana forever, or even a lot of champions, let's be honest, have been resourceless for a long time. So an energy champion is actually a bit of a breath of a fresh air. That's kind of cool. So yeah, basically, her passive is what's giving her all these, you can see these kind of dashes. That's her passive. It's weaving movement commands with attack commands and giving you that little bit of dash. So it's probably a little bit like Callista, but think of it on a kind of melee bruiser scale. So it might take a little bit to get used to kind of doing it, but again, she's supposed to be a little bit more mechanical for what is normally, I guess, a Juggernaut kind of class. Her next ability, which is her Q, has two parts. So there's the first cast, which you've seen there, and then you can see on her ability thing, it transforms into something else. So the first part is the semicircle that you've been seeing. So that is Ambessa sweeps her twin Drakehounds in a semicircle in front of her, dealing bonus damage to enemies hit by the blades. So it will do damage all in the semicircle, but if you're specifically hit, kind of like a Darius Q, in that specific zone, it'll do more. And then when you've pressed Q, it transforms into the second part to the ability, which is striking an enemy will transform the next cast of this ability for a short period of time. So you can see it occasionally there. It has like a little timer going down. That's its second part, which is causing her to slam her twin Drakehounds down into a line in front of her, dealing bonus damage to the first enemy hit. So this is where, like a little bit like Cassante, that she has a sweep, and then if you hit that, then she has a slam. Like that was the slam there. So you can see it was in a straight line, a little bit of extra range to it. So again, here, there's the straight line Q. So it has two parts to it. And obviously, again, energy champion. So she can probably do most of her abilities in one full energy rotation, but then she'll need to regen energy. Obviously, which again, integrated her passive, she gets refunded energy anyway. Her next ability is called, and again, excuse if my pronunciation is bad. Normally, and again, in a dev meeting, we'll hear a developer say how it's supposed to be pronounced, but it's called Repudiation, something like that. So Ambessa gains a shield, and again, this is again very Cassante-like. Ambessa gains a shield, briefly braces herself, and then slams the ground to damage nearby enemies. If she blocked any non-minion damage while bracing herself, this ability deals increased damage. So when you're seeing her press W and kind of standing there, she's bracing, she's gaining a shield, and then if she's hit by, like, when she's hit by non-minion damage, so you can't just stand in the minion wave and this will do much. It's supposed to be, okay, I'm bracing, you guys are hitting me, okay, it's my turn now. Which again, Cassante kind of has a version of that as well. His obviously is purely like damage reduction, and then enables him to go for them after, like it's a dash. Obviously, she can also have a bit of a dash because her passive, if you intertwine all of this, gives her a dash. So this is where, again, you'll be intertwining, kind of like Riven, something in between each ability cast, which is kind of cool. Her next ability is her E, which is a Lacerate. So Ambessa whips her twin Drakehounds around herself, damaging and slowing nearby enemies. Initiating Drakehound step from this ability, which is her passive, causes her to strike a second time at the end of its dash. So think of this like if you press E, use the dash, at the end of the dash, it will do another whip around her. So the E obviously should probably always be used with her passive. Make sure you're using the dash that is, you know, given. But again, that's fundamentally, it's a bit of comboing, and that's kind of cool. And then her ultimate, and I will say her ultimate, you've been seeing is the big kind of travel ability. I've only got the information that I've been given, and again, we didn't have a developer Q&A, so I only know so much. Skin Spotlights, I was having a chat with, he thinks this could be a reset ability, but I've watched this clip. This is a 4-minute clip. This is all I have. I haven't seen it reset, I don't think. So I don't know in League of Legends if it's a reset. In Wild Rift, it might be. So this is Ambessa Ambessa blinks to the farthest enemy, which you just saw there. She blinks to the farthest enemy champion in a line of her choosing and suppresses them upon her arrival. So a suppression, for example, is like Warwick ultimate, Malzahar ultimate, etc. She then slams the enemy into the ground where they take damage and are stunned. So she gets to pick who she goes. Now, the only thing I'm not 100% is it a complete point and click? Like, is it, you know, you just press on that target. If you're in range, you're just going to jump straight to them and they can't dodge it? Or is it like Warwick ultimate that obviously you can technically miss? I'm not sure. I guess if you pay attention to this, we'll probably be able to kind of notice that. But overall, this is Ambessa. It's worth also noting, I'm allowed to say at the beginning, like at the exact same time of this video going live, that as a celebration of Arcane Season 2, she's going to be happening, but also a massive ARAM update is happening. And think of, if you've watched Arcane Season 1, basically ARAM is turning into the Bridge of Progress, which is the kind of fancy bridge where at the end of Arcane Season 1, a big thing happens. That's becoming ARAM map, and that will be happening through till January 8th next year. So we'll be having like over a month of a different ARAM map. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, it's going to be all themed in that way, and there'll also be nemesis quests for champions that appear in Arcane. So like if you have one team's got a Caitlyn and one team's got Victor, there might be a quest that appears during the game. And yeah, I probably would have brung maybe something up on the screen just to show that. But there's the ultimate. So again, it does actually look like she just gets to pick. She clicked Xin and ignored the Jax, where a Warwick would have hit the Jax instead. She picked Xin there and went straight for him. So I think, and again like that, she had vision quickly there of Lucian. She went straight for him. So we'll see how this goes. Now, the one thing I will say, and I want to leave you with, everybody, this champion, I would say, does look very strong. She looks very modern in her design. Obviously, energy can be a limiting factor, but it's worth knowing these clips that they're showing. They never show them having a bad game, so that's worth knowing. This is a, you know, you look in the top right, she's 7-1-4 at 22 minutes. Like, she's clearly having a good game. She's playing against a Heartsteel Yasuo. If you look in the top left, he's got Heartsteel. So these games kind of are showing a strong Ambessa, so it may be giving a little bit of a false idea of how strong she could be. It's also worth knowing from these clips, we have no idea what her scaling is like. We don't know if she's an early game champion. She's running Ignite in most of these clips. So she could be, I have to get ahead early, so I'll run Ignite and try to snowball. Or she could be a regular kind of juggernaut that it's very close in the early game. She can get ahead, she can get behind, and she scales kind of okay. And if she gets onto something squishy in late game, she should probably kill them. Like if a Darius gets onto something squishy in late game, he probably should kill them. So we don't know. That's the one thing we don't know. But let me know what you guys think of her down below. Again, I think she looks cool, and I'm spamming top lane at the moment, so I'm open to have a new top laner to play, and I think I will probably play her. But she definitely looks very modern, and obviously in my language, modern does mean strong. You know, her just sense of mobility that she has over older champions, like you can't compare. Like, again, this is a juggernaut, in essence, Riven, you know? It's given slightly tankier vibes than a Riven. Her damage looks pretty decent, so maybe her damage isn't as good as Riven's, but then she's going to be a lot harder to kill. So it'll be interesting to see how she does. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, thanks to Riot for providing what they can. And yeah, very exciting. What I will say, as a bit of a celebration, why not? Let's do it. If you guys want a chance to win this champion with her launch skin on launch, which will be happening in, like, you know, maybe a few weeks' time, all you got to do is be subscribed, like the video, and comment what you think of the champion, and make sure you leave your server and your summoner name, as obviously I'll add you if you are the winner. But that is going to be it. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.
Call down the red